we officially have our 2024-2025 NFL schedule, and that means that we get a win-loss prediction for every single Colts game way too early in the season, way before minicamp, way before training camp, all of this. We're excited to go. What's going on? I'm Elijah from Sports Talk Indy, where we cover all things Colts every single day. And if you're not yet a part of the community, subscribe, like, do all the business, turn on notification bells so you get notified every time we post all things Colts, and we are going to be breaking news stories as they come and all this. But today, we are doing a win-loss prediction for the schedule going forward now that we have it. It released literally like 30 minutes ago at the time of recording this video. So, week one, we have ourselves a challenge. But I think one that we're excited about. We ended the season last year on a bitter note. We lost to the Texans, and how 23-19. And how do we start the year? We start the year back with Houston coming into Indianapolis, and that game takes place on September 8th. And I'm gonna say, I mean, Houston they've added a lot. A lot of our division games are early on in the year. This game is going to be tough. The Colts almost won both of their games against Houston, and they did win one of their games against Houston, and really should have won their other game against Houston on a backup quarterback. The first game, they did not have Jonathan Taylor. They had Michael Pittman. They had Gardner Minshew played half of the game in the first game against the Texans, and they won. And they actually won pretty well, but that was before the Texans really got their stride. I would say that there's a good shot that the Colts could win this. I'm going to play this bold. I think the Colts have made some improvement. The Texans have made a lot of improvements. But this is at home, and this is the first time that this Texans team, the Colts retained a lot of the players, Texans add a lot of the players. I'm gonna slap the win on this. I'm gonna say win week one against the Texans coming into Lucas Oil Stadium. I think it's a safe bet to say that they could very easily win this game. Okay, week two. This is going to be against Green Bay. This is at Green Bay, so this is one that we're excited that we're playing at Green Bay. Earlier in the year as opposed to January or February, or not February, but December, January. I think that there's a good shot the Colts could win this, so I'm going to say W. I'm going to say W, first two. I think they're winning this one. And then we go Bears at home. This is a team that is still going to probably be figuring things out. This is still early in the year, 9:22. All of our games is at 1 p.m. Most of our games are at 1 p.m. NFL just hates giving. NFL gave us like 5 primetime games with Matt Ryan at quarterback, and then they're never going to give us a primetime game again. God forbid. This is a win. This is an easy win. I still think the Bears are still trying to figure things out. They've made a lot of improvements, but I think that the Colts defense is going to be really, really good, and that's going to be a really big challenge for Caleb Williams. Even with that incredible receiving core, I still think that there's a good shot that the Colts can win this. Now comes Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has always been a challenge for the Colts, and in fact, the Colts won their first game in, I believe, the past 7 attempts against Pittsburgh this past season. But that was with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Now they have Russell Wilson, and who knows what Russell Wilson is going to be like. I'm not predicting the Colts are going to win all of these games, but I do think that there's a very real shot that they could win against Pittsburgh, especially with Pittsburgh being an older team in a lot of areas. They didn't make a ton of improvements. They're still paying a lot of Kenny Pickett's contract. Now they're paying some of Russ's contract. They're now paying some of Justin Fields' contract. I still think Pittsburgh's kind of trying to figure everything out. I'm saying a win here. Now we go at Jacksonville. Now this is the Jacksonville curse. The Colts have not won at Jacksonville in several years, though the Colts had a good record and a good couple of games against the Jags last year. The Colts, the October game, they lost to the Jags, and then they lost to the Jags both times last year. I definitely thought that they won both the games. Nope, lost both their games. In an effort to be a little safe, I'm going to say the Colts are going to lose this game at Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is a good team. They've made some improvements. So have the Colts, but I really think that you're not going to win them all. So I think that Jacksonville wins this. That leaves us at 4-1 after 5, right? I think that's a really, really good bet. At Tennessee, I think the Colts are going to take this. Tennessee made a lot of improvements, but I don't think it's an old receiving core. And they have some good defenders. I'm not going to lie. They made some strong increases in the defense. They have L'Jarius Sneed now. I think that the Colts are still going to win this game. I really do. And not to be biased, but I really think that the Colts team is younger and faster. And where, they might have L'Jarius Sneed in a good defensive backfield. I still think that you're not going to be able to beat the Colts in both and, but the Colts defense, I think, is going to be able to hold up, and it might be a shootout. It really will. But I have confidence that the Colts are going to figure this out. So back to 5-1, back on the winning streak against the toughest opponent, and that is going to be not the toughest, but one of the toughest, and that is going to be versus Miami. So this is a home game. Miami's coming to Lucas Oil at 1 p.m. in October. That's not going to bode well for the Colts. Miami is an incredible team. They're a powerhouse team. And I just don't know that I trust this secondary as it stands right now against guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. If those two guys are healthy, you have Raheem Mostert, you have Devon Achane, you have that offense and that speed, I don't know that there's enough pressure that we will have to send towards Tua to be able to stop that high-powered offense, and their defense is also very, very good. And again, this is a Colts offense that is still going to be figuring things out. I'm going to put this one in the L column. I think that there's a very real shot that the Colts lose this game. So now we're 5-2. Still good look on the season. One of the better starts that we've had in the past several years. And then we go to Houston. Now, it gave us the win in Houston week 1. I think this Houston team is going to figure it out by now. I'm going to give us the L on this one. So we're 5-3, but it gets a little easier because week 9, we are at Minnesota. This is a team that is very young. They don't have the same high-powered rushing offense that they had a couple of years ago. They don't have Kirk Cousins. They have J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold, and I'm a Michigan man myself. I enjoy Michigan, live in Michigan. I think this is going to be a win for the Colts because I don't think that Justin Jefferson is going to be able to do it all by himself. This is a really high-powered offensive or defensive line that we have, and really it's just going to be a grinded out. If the Colts can do with Matt Ryan, where they scored 31 unanswered points, they lost the game, but let's just account for the first half. Imagine what they can do now. I think the Colts are going to take this game. I don't trust Minnesota's defense to be able to hold up against any of the dynamics of the offense. So then we go versus Buffalo. This is a Buffalo team that doesn't have a strong receiver. They did get Keon Coleman. It looks good. I'm excited for them, but I just don't know. But it's also Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, historically, against the Colts has done very, very well. He has just ripped us apart. This one's tough. I'm gonna give this one to the Bills, just because of the Bills, and I don't know that this Colts team is going to be experienced enough at that point in the year, or not at that point in the year, but just in general. So it's week 10. We have a very late bye week this year. Then we go at New York Jets. Excuse me. This is a win for the Colts. I really think Aaron Rodgers, a year off of football, even though he's going to have, and this is our one primetime game. This is on Sunday Night Football, which I'm very excited about. This is the one primetime game the Colts have, and I think that this is going to be a win for the Colts. I really do. The last time the Colts played the Jets, that was one of Jonathan Taylor's biggest breakout games, and just looked absolutely incredible. So this is a win for the Colts versus Detroit. Detroit's very good. So where are we at? We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. Okay, so we have 4 losses on the year so far. I think Detroit's going to win this game. Detroit's a very good football team, and they just keep getting better. And Terrion Arnold looks really good. I like this Detroit team. I think this Detroit team is going to win this one for that Thanksgiving brawl. And then we go to at New England. I think the Colts are going to take this. Drake May is still very young. They still don't have a crazy good receiving core. They weren't able to make any of the trades in the offseason. They're on first-year head coach Gerard Mayo. This is a win for the Colts. And then we go into the bye week, and that's week 14. Again, an incredibly late bye week. But we have an easy stretch at the back end, or easier, I should say. Next game, 12:15, and that is a afternoon game, so it's not a 1 p.m. game, thank God. We have 2 non-1 p.m. games, and that is at Denver, and I think the Colts are going to take this. The Colts, in the most recent history, have done very well against Denver. I think this is going to be a win for the Colts. They're going to take this one. They're going to make Bo Nix cry. And then we go versus Tennessee. The Colts are going to take this. I think they're going to take the season sweep of Tennessee. It's going to be the only division team that I think the Colts are going to take the season sweep of. I'm hopeful for more, but I think that the Colts are going to take this, take the season sweep here. Next one is going to be at New York Giants. Colts are going to take that. Daniel Jones is still their quarterback one at the moment, and even with all the receiving core, they still don't have a great offensive line. They lost Saquon Barkley this year. They added Devin Singletary. I don't think it's going to be enough. This is a struggling New York Giants team that's going to it's rebuilding and heading for a rebuild, if that makes sense. And I think that this is going to bode very well for the Colts. And then Jacksonville versus Jacksonville, so they're coming into Lucas Oil Stadium. I think the Colts are going to be catching their stride. They're going to end the season on a 5-game winning streak after losing to Detroit. They're going to take New England. They're going to take the Broncos. They're going to take the Titans. They're going to take the New York Giants, and they're going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is going to be a great, great season. So they play in MetLife twice. That scares me for one reason and one reason only. MetLife is catastrophic on injuries because of the turf that they use is so bad and is oftentimes where you can get injured a lot. And so if this Colts team is able to stay healthy, especially having such a late bye week this year, I think they're going to go there. They could very well be they could be an 11-6 team. They could even be a 12-5 team. I really think that, and I'm not just trying to be clickbait or overly optimistic, but I really think that this Colts team looks very good. This defense has improved. The defensive front has improved. And if they're able to ride a guy like Leatu Latu for the majority of the season and be able to add this, I think that this team is going to be very, very good. And I'm excited to see where they go in the 2024-2025 NFL season. They're going to be a playoff team. And I'll analyze the other schedules for the other divisions, but I think there's a really very real shot that the Colts easily make the playoffs. As a team, you lose to Jacksonville, you lose to Miami, you lose to Buffalo, you lose to Detroit, and you throw maybe one loss in there of a game that they should have won, and that's 5 losses on the season. That's 12-5. That's a good football team. The over/under line right now in Vegas right now for the Colts is very low. It's like 9.5 or 8.5, so it's very, very low. But I think this is a team that has a lot of moxie. It has a lot, and you add dynamic players. They just keep adding these dynamic players, and I think this is going to be a really, really fun team to watch this year, and I'm excited to see the Colts go and make the playoffs this year, break that playoff drought, and hopefully win a division title.